Hey everyone, Talking Dave over here, the dorky talking black guy that's just trying to get by. And welcome to another edition of the Token 10, my top 10 list of a particular subject matter. This Token 10 is actually in conjunction and brought to you by the Street Fighter Flashback. In celebration of 30 years of Street Fighter, I'm taking it upon myself to share my memories of playing the arcade and home console games at that period of time, and review and share some of my feelings on other Street Fighter related media. You know, I've actually gone over a few of the series, like 1, 2, Alpha, EX, 3. I've gone over 5 series of the franchise. I think it's time that I can actually at least let you guys know who are my top 10 favorite characters in the series are, in the franchise are. Alright, so that's what this list is. This Token 10 are my top 10 Street Fighter characters. But there's a little bit of parameters in here. You know, number 1, no Shotos are on this list, right? So for those that don't know, Shotos are the people that have a similar fighting style to the protagonists, Ryu and Ken, of the series. Now, while their fighting style has been retconned to be called Assassin, which was a Japanese martial art known for assassination, initially everyone referred to them as Shotokan practitioners. So, hence the phrase Shoto stuck with them. So, that's number 1. Number 2, every character on this list is somebody that is not from another game outside of Street Fighter. Mostly this deals with the Final Fight characters, but I know that there are a couple of other characters that came from other games that are in Street Fighter. So, those are the 2 parameters. So, let's get this party started with number 10. Joe, from the original Street Fighter. Now, Joe is one of the characters from the original game that has not been brought over and updated to another later game. And I feel that this is a huge disservice. Well, the original game is not met with much affection, respect, or fanfare that it deserves, and this is another example with how Joe is treated. Joe is like an underground kickboxer, and you know, you really got a sense that you were up fighting in the streets when you were in Joe's stage, because Joe's stage is actually a train yard. A forbidden train yard, you know, because when trains are parked and everything, you're not allowed there. So the goal to be able to, like, you know, sneak into a train yard to, like, you know, take part in a fight is pretty badass. And as well as you can tell that the train yard's in a rough area of town because the subway cars are tagged up on all sorts of graffiti over there. Joe himself, like, you know, appears very strong, very muscle bound, but agile at the same time. This is basically due because he is based off of the late martial artist Joe Louis, who trained in Japan and came to America and, you know, became a United States martial arts champion. And you got the feeling that Joe was highly confident in his abilities and would be a bit of a smartass if you were beaten, you know. And you had to pay very close attention to the characters and their movements to get that. And I got that from Joe, and I really think he's underrated, as well as the original game is underrated, and he needs a modernization to do just service. Alright? So, number 9. Number 9 is Makoto from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Oh, Token Dave, yo, why do you have Makoto here? I thought you weren't dealing with any of the Shotos. Well, here's the thing. Just because somebody wears a karate gi does not mean that all of them are Shotokan stylists. And Makoto is one of them. Makoto, actually, her martial arts style is a lot more in the tradition of basically of Kyokushin, or basically what you would call them, either a combination of Kyokushin and a combination of Goju-Ryu. You know, more Kyokushin, but her discipline, her sternness, has the traditional values of, you know, Goju-Ryu, aka a traditional karate style and everything. And Makoto herself exemplifies this by being very straightforward very loud, very direct, and very powerful. And I also love, like, you know, a lot of her button movements are not as predictable, so you really have to know, you know, basically button combinations to pull off her basic moves, but not in an annoying way, but in a way that basically allows you to be a smart fighter and an effective fighter. And a lot of her moves are just freaking awesome. So karate is my favorite martial arts style. So with her being a karate stylist, why is she so low? Well, her directness, while very powering and very, like, noticeable, is kind of one-dimensional. So that's why she's so low on the list. Number 8, Nash from Street Fighter Zero. You know, so in Street Fighter 2, everyone knows Guile's story. Guile's in the tournament to get revenge on Vega about what he did to Nash. And so finally we see Nash in Street Fighter Zero, and wow, you know, Guile was pretty cool. He was one of the first people I like, you know, one of the first 4 people I picked up on. But Nash, holy crap, this guy, you know, this guy has a much better, like, you know, fashion sense, you know, that you could get away with in the military, mind you. Exception of the hair, of course. In addition, the way he pulls off the somersaults and the sonic booms are freaking awesome. And basically, his rapid, like, you know, multiple, like, you know, sonic booms and, like, you know, his double somersault looks a hell of a lot cooler and a hell of a lot better than Guile's. And in particular, while Guile's, like, really stern and straightforward, Nash has, like, you know, he has this cool, calm, suave sense about him and everything. This guy that's able to keep cool under pressure, you know, and I'm sticking to that, not to how he's portrayed in Street Fighter V, which I'll talk about sometime in the future. But Nash, awesome character, you know, glad that they actually put him in Zero as a playable character. Alright? Number 7, Cammy from Super Street Fighter. Whoa, boy, oh boy. If you want to talk about one of the babes in fighting games, we have no further place to look. You know, Cammy is like this very petite yet muscular supermodel and everything. And, you know, her big round blue eyes and, yes, her nice round posterior. Everyone notices her posterior more so. Let's get that out of the way. Yes, Cammy has that ass, alright? But she's not all about that ass. She's more about basically quick strikes that basically, and high agility that it's very hard to catch her. And even when you catch her, you have to make sure that you try to pull her away quick, because basically Cammy plays for keeps. You know, she has this awesome cannon drill, cannon spike, and this destroy smasher that is just freaking awesome. And in Street Fighter 4, which I'll get into in the future, she has this this quick Cammy kill and everything, where basically, you know, she grabs you and she's literally breaking your bones and then ends up breaking your neck. Brutal and everything. And Cammy is both beautiful and brutal, right? No wonder why Balrog spared her. Number 6, Adon from the original Street Fighter. Now, Adon, unlike Joe, Adon actually gets, he got brought into other games in the future. He came, after the original game, he came back in Street Fighter Zero. And when he came in Street Fighter Zero, I felt a sense of justice to a degree, because basically he always beat the crap out of me in Street Fighter Zero. In the original game. But in Street Fighter Zero, I was able to control him, and wow, his moveset is actually pretty awesome. You know, not only does he have that flipping kick, which is now called a Jaguar kick, he has a Jaguar tooth, and then he had that multiple punch move and everything, which is pretty awesome. And his super moves and everything are great and something to behold. I like the more gymnastics version of Muay Thai that Adon incorporates. It's pretty fun to watch, and it's pretty fun to pull off. You know, Adon is one of the characters that I really feel is really underrated as well too. You know, people focus more on Sagat a lot more, but Edon holds his own, and Edon is basically, you know, a badass from the original series, and basically, like, you know, his, like, you know, bloodlust and, like, you know, wanting to become the new Emperor Muay Thai and everything is something that's admirable to a degree, but let's not admire this guy too much. This guy is an antagonist. All he wants is power and glory, but he's got the muscles, the agility, and the technique to pull it off. So that's part 1 of my top 10 Street Fighter list. You know, what do you guys think? Drop me a comment below. Give me a like. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. On Twitter, I'm TokenDave80. And on Facebook, I'm just Token Dave. Subscribe and ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. But until then, it's been Token Dave, the dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. And I'll catch you guys later.